Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the co-feature race at Zia Park on Thanksgiving Eve Wednesday. Race number 10, the $250,000 Zia Park Derby. 3-year-olds going 1 1/16. Before we get to the analysis, remember that DRF's Black Friday week of sales is underway. Save big on DRF's hottest handicapping tools. Just head on over to shop.drf.com. Here's the field for the Zia Park Derby, and as you see, because of the quarantine situation at Zia Park, unfortunately we're going to have to deal with several scratches. The 2 Hustle Up, the 4 Bank It, the 6 Sleepy Eyes Tob, the 7 Proverb, and the 9 Tone Broke. And not only obviously does it affect the race from a class standpoint, but from a pace standpoint especially, Mike Beer.
I mean, the race is totally different than the one it looks like when the PPs came out. Most of the favorites of the race are not going to be able to run here. And you're right, it changes the pace complexion. All of the main contenders basically are out. It's a totally different race.
And as you see from the Timeform US pace projector, the 2 Hustle Up was expected to make the lead. Keep in mind that this pace projector will update on timeformus.com once scratches are announced on Wednesday, and you'll see that the number 10 will be able to make the lead on the updated Timeform US pace projector. We'll get to Mr. Moneybags in a bit, but we'll take this field in post position order, beginning with the number 1 Dueling. And there are some things to like about Dueling. This was a horse that was always cut out to be a good one. Early in his career, he was actually favored over Game Winner in his second lifetime start. Game Winner ended up winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He kind of lost his way after running in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and the Los Al Futurity as a maiden. But I wonder if he's getting back to his good form. He ran okay on turf last time out, and his most recent dirt start at Fresno was solid. Let's watch that race. He's on the lead already, and he stayed up close in a stalking spot in 4th. He gets to the front. It takes him a while to change leads, but once it does, it's a very professional winner for this son of violence who draws an inside post position with, I think, enough tactical speed to stay close.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, he's had a perfect trip in this race, but he also won it, I think, the way you kind of wanted to see him win. I've been a fan of this horse from the start, and I like him. I'm happy to see him, sort of back in form now, very late in his 3-year-old year. I feel like he's in a good spot here. I mean, obviously, he's going to be a shorter price now with all the scratches, but to me, he just makes a lot of sense in this race. And you throw in the fact that Hollendorfer, he has great stats going turf to dirt, so this horse could really take a step forward in here.
Number 3 is Final Jeopardy, and this horse did some good things in New York when he was with the Jason Service Barn. Second to Code of Honor in the Grade 3 Dwyer. He broke well that day. Arad Ortiz conceded the lead. There wasn't a lot of pace. He was just second best. He wasn't going to beat Code of Honor with a perfect trip. After that race, he was purchased to run in Western Canada and several of those rich graded stakes races, and he was beaten in his first 3, but he got a dead heat last time out in the Lionsgate Stakes. This is a 1 1/16 at Hastings. Let's watch this race, Mike, because there was a very fast pace in this race. He's moving in tandem with the horse he dead heats with. He is now 2 from the left on your screen, herded down towards the rail. They're going to hit the wire together. Kind of had a similar situation in his prior start. Very fast pace, made the first move into the pace, and was run down late from the inside. He's a nice horse. He's solid. I like him turning back to 1 1/16. It'll be interesting to see what kind of trip he can get, because he kind of falls behind early if the pace is fast.
Yeah, his lack of speed is a pretty big concern, especially with all the scratches now in this field. I liked him early in his career, Dan. To me, I've always felt like he's a better kind of 1-turn mile kind of horse. I don't really like him when they go longer with him. Obviously, he's acquitted himself, pretty well going longer distances up in Western Canada. But I don't know, I sort of like him going shorter and around 1 turn.
Sheriff Brown, the number 5, is a son of Curlin with some upside potential. He's never been off the board from 6 lifetime starts, and last time out there was no pace for him to run at in this race at Zia Park. We're going to turn into the stretch, and we'll see him. He's down on the inside, I believe, in the white cap. He's going to ease out late, but you see the fractions, 26, 50, and 2. They ran 3/4 of a mile, I'm not sure I believe that, in 19 and 3, and he's plugging along to finish second. This is going to be his 3rd start off a very long layoff, but he's another horse with a lack of early speed.
Yeah, the fractions were incorrect there, that's for sure. Listen, he did finish up pretty gamely in there to get up for second. He has not run a race that makes him a big player in here, Dan. He has to get faster, and he's going to have to find a way to do it. It feels like behind a pace that won't be that quick.
Walker Stalker is going to stretch out in his second start of the form cycle, and I think he got enough out of his first start off of a short layoff most recently in an allowance race against older horses. He ended up wide as we turn into the stretch. He was basically wide every step of the way. Now, he doesn't change leads, but he just grinds these horses down, and you get the feeling that 5.5 furlongs is a little bit short for him. He's going to stretch out. He has won around 2 turns at the past at Sunland, and he's another horse with a little bit of upside. Stretching out, maybe he can stay closer to the pace.
Yeah, I think he probably can. I mean, it does feel like the stretch out or the added distance here is not going to work against him. He's obviously sprinted effectively several times in the past, but he also goes long effectively. I agree with you. I think he can be closer to the pace this time.
Like Walker Stalker, the number 10, Mr. Moneybags, is making his second start off the layoff while stretching out in distance. Here's his most recent race, the Road Runner at Zia, going 6 furlongs. He was down inside here. He's in the 2-path right now, and he's going to end up down on the rail again, and he really guts this out, again, in the manner of a horse, in my opinion, that wants to go longer. He is a stakes winner around 2 turns at Lone Star. He's perfect at Zia, and the pace projector, when it is updated, will have this horse on the lead, and if he controls it, he might be very, very tough to catch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I feel like he benefits more than anybody from the scratches. He can probably make the lead. Now, I liked his last win. To me, he just sort of did what he had to do there. The official margin's a nose. I don't think it was a nose. I think it was a little bit more than that. I thought he won it pretty comfortably. He's a nice horse. And he might have all the best of it on the front end here.
And he has run some fast races in the past. That 92 buyer around 2 turns, 3 starts back. We take a look at our top pick. We agree after all these scratches. I want to go with the horse on the lead. I still think Mr. Moneybags has some upside in here, Mike. And we kind of look at it the same way. We respect dueling, and if he goes off at any kind of a price, you mentioned Hollendorfer's numbers, turf to dirt, and we talked about it before we came on the air. This might be his best spot at getting a stakes win ever. After all these scratches.
Yeah,
I'm going 10-1-8, you're going 10-1-3.
I agree with the thoughts on dueling. We'll see how they bet the race, because now it feels like the horses we have 1-2 are just going to be the 2 favorites in here. So we'll see how they wind up betting it, but I can't go against those 2.
Race 10 at Zia Park on Wednesday. The $250,000 Zia Park Derby has an approximate post time of 4:03 Mountain. Best of luck.